Welcome to NFL Imperialism in Madden 26. I'll spin for team selection and direction, and teams will attack and expand until only one team remains. As always, successful conquest will result in a player steal, and an expansion to an unclaimed state will reward the team with a player from the free agent pool. Now let's talk about power-ups, and I'm showcasing them a little bit differently. Landing in Oregon is evolved, where this team's bottom two players will be boosted to the overall of their best player. We have a newcomer landing in Montana with DNA, where this power-up will duplicate the next claimed power-up by this team. Some things just never change. The Denver Broncos will continuously get blessed with power-ups on their borders, this one being Double Trouble in Wyoming, where this team will receive 2 players for every successful conquest. And then we literally move one state over to Utah, where Bandit lands, where this team gets to steal 2 players from 2 random teams. I'm still randomizing this. I'm not trying to help the Denver Broncos out. You guys know how much I hate them in this series. But finally, a power-up landed at least one state away from Denver. This one's in Iowa. It's Clover, where this team will get 2 extra entries on the selection wheel. And now going down south into South Carolina, this is where Bloom lands, where this team will get 2 rookies from their 2025 rookie class boosted to a 99 overall. Now on to disasters, which are random events that will trigger throughout this video. After turn 8, we will get Dead Rising. Activating after turn 16 is a new one today with Acid Rain. And our third and final disaster day is Tornado, activating after turn 24. You'll just have to wait and see what these do. So now this is our official starting map today for our first NFL Imperialism episode for Madden 26. Now I could be 50 years old making Imperialism videos in Madden 50 and the same running gag will happen. The Denver Broncos will continuously have everything go their way in this series. We might have a pretty interesting fight to see which one of these teams will claim the Clover power-up. And of course, this is part of the mainline series, which means I'll have updated stats and standings at the conclusion of today's episode with episode 15. But everything is a battle here in NFL Imperialism, and we can go ahead and begin it with turn number 1. New year, new Imperialism, and we will start with the Baltimore Ravens. We might see a good team go off the board first as they're traveling south. Looks like we're starting this episode off with an expansion as they barely dodged the color of the Washington Commanders. So the Ravens will take over Virginia now they completely surround Washington, and the best free agent in Madden 26 right now is 88 overall Christian Wilkins, who's now a Raven. So now if the Commanders get landed on, they have no other choice. We're starting out with some heavy hitters today. Kansas City's on the move next, going south as well. Make that 2 expansions a start as they'll go down and take Arkansas. And so Kansas City will add 84 overall Kendall Fuller at cornerback. We got some early game jitters. Nobody wants to be the first team out, but it might be the Miami Dolphins. I've been milking this damn series for over 3 years now. You know how the rules work. Miami has nowhere to go other than Tampa Bay, giving us our first game in Raymond James Stadium, Baker Mayfield against Tua. One thing I'm excited with this Madden is the presentation. It's much better. It's a 2014 game in Thursday night primetime. Tua's in some trouble, trying to run for a first down and can't get it. He's tackled for 4th down and 7. Something also new, coaching tendencies. Of course, McDaniel would want to go for this. 4th down and 7 at the 2-minute warning. Tyreek Hill in motion. Here's the snap. It's a play action for Tua. He actually has protection this time to fire a missile for a first down. And therefore, the drive continues. That's something that would have not happened in Madden 25, going for it in that situation and actually breaking a tackle for a pickup around 7 yards. See, that is something that would have not happened in Madden 25. It's now 3rd and 4 with 60 seconds remaining. Wide open in the end zone is Jalen Waddle with the Miami Dolphins on the board. And as a result, Miami will win this game 21-20. Baker Mayfield couldn't get it done, and Tampa Bay continues to be the laughingstock of this series. So our first player steal of the episode will be Mike Evans going to Miami. He will be lining up with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, who caught the go-ahead touchdown for that game. And Tampa Bay, man, just nothing ever goes their way in this series. Now, there is a chance that won't be the last we'll see of Tampa Bay, but I highly doubt it. Let's go to Ashton Genty and the Vegas Raiders. Lots of power-ups in this area for the Raiders, and they're heading towards the east. And that's going to give us our first power-up claim today, which is Bandit, which means the Raiders get to steal 2 players from 2 random teams. But before we get to the power-up, they get a player for expanding. That's going to be Vita Vea from the Buccaneers, an X-Factor 93 overall. So the Raiders are actually getting 3 players on this turn, starting with a Bandit power-up. What team are they going to steal a player from? It's going to be Houston. They'll be adding another 93 overall X-Factor and Derek Stingley. And their second player steal for the Bandit power-up will be from the Seahawks. I was just holding my breath there. I did not want to land on my glorious Packers, but I guess they're just going to bolster up their cornerback room, now adding Devon Witherspoon. And just like that, the Raiders are scary. We'll go back to the Ravens again. I don't think they'll be able to dodge a matchup this time. Yeah, I think that's going straight through DC. What a scary start today. We're about to see 2 playoff teams from last year be eliminated already. Either the Commanders or the Ravens, and we're going to the nation's capital. It's only fitting that these 2 teams make it to overtime. Lamar Jackson throws a risky bullet, but it completes to the 40. Now, I do know that Madden added more shifty moves in the pocket for quarterbacks. I wonder if Lamar can use them here, and oh my goodness, Zay Flowers gets leveled, but he dives for the catch and makes it to the 39. He might be the next guest segment on CTESPN, but here goes Lamar Jackson sliding for the first down. Commanders currently have no answer to Lamar Jackson. Here's a first down. No, Mark Andrews can't hold on. What's new? Now, this is a 4th down and 7 you shouldn't go for. Almost blocked, but the Ravens will get it through the uprights. They're up by 3 in overtime. Hopefully, we won't see a sophomore slump from Jaden Daniels. It's a 3rd down and 4. He's going to try to step up and run. He somehow escapes the pocket and picks up a first down. Now, 1st down and 10 to Brian Robinson, who picks up around 8-9 yards. Just short of midfield, RPO, Jaden Daniels takes off, and oh gosh. I'm glad to see they've implemented more animations that will result in concussions. This one's going to be floated up down the sideline. The Terry McLaurin somehow still on the team, but good defense by Hamilton. Or by Marlon Humphrey, but now the Ravens are going to stack the line for 4th down and 1. If the Commanders don't pick this up, game's over. Here's the snap. It's a handoff. First down. All this works so far, and they still haven't passed midfield, but that's going to do it right here. 2nd and 6, Jaden Daniels keeps this one. He's going to run for the first down and some more. Picks up an extra 5 yards on top of that. A field goal should be the bare minimum that should happen here. 3rd down and 8. Open receiver for the first down at the 10, close to the end zone, tackled at the 8. Ravens defense on their heels. There's too many X factors for them to be playing like this. Jaden Daniels has daylight, and Jaden Daniels is in the end zone to walk it off for the Commanders. 2 turns down, 2 playoff teams down. First the Buccaneers, and now the Ravens. Now, I didn't see Derrick Henry on the field once that entire game, but hopefully the Commanders will actually learn from that mistake. Maybe this will finally be the incentive for Terry McLaurin to take under $30 million a year. I mean, come on now. Well, if you haven't figured it out already, it's a whole new era for NFL imperialism. Maybe the Giants will also declare that. Now, who am I kidding? This team will probably always suck in this series. I mean, maybe I should eat my own words here. They're going to get expansion and get a pretty solid player. That's going to be X-Factor Roquan Smith, who's listed as a Mike linebacker in this game. Still a whole lot of work for them to do if a New York team wants to succeed, not name the Bills. But here's a team I'm excited for, the Atlanta Falcons. Just like the Raiders, they do share a border with a power, but they would not be so lucky. But with the Ravens eliminated, there's a lot of good players they can take for the free agent pool with this expansion to Alabama. Their secondary was already scary enough, but now they're adding Jerry Alexander. He didn't even get a chance to play with the Ravens. A lot of expanding empires, and we're only at turn number 3. Arizona's up next. These are all the teams I'm pretty excited for today. Arizona's going to travel northeast. I will never understand how the arrow spinner will always just give me the most craziest arrow spins possible. I know this just looks like a Simon Says machine with 4 squares of colors, but you can see this green line barely goes through some gray first. There's a little bit of gray right there, so this is going to be against the Raiders. The Cardinals start in the red zone with Kyler Murray, who steps up and runs for the end zone, and he's in for a touchdown for Arizona, and they're 1 point away from tying this game. Now, despite the 3-player acquisitions the Raiders have made, you would think they would not struggle with the Cardinals, but Brock Bowers breaks free for a first down, or at least close. Here's Ashton Jeanty for the first time today, breaking free for a first down around midfield. They take Jeanty out of the game. Geno Smith on first down. The Brock Bowers to the 30, to the 25. If they wanted to, they can start running the football more to drain out some clock. That's exactly what they're going to do. Raheem Mostert picks up around 4. 2nd and 6, Geno Smith. The Brock Bowers again, who falls to the 2-yard line. Ashton Jeanty is not in the game, and they're not going to hand the football off, going backwards, 2nd and goal from around the 10-yard line. That was blown up immediately. They're actually at the 6-yard line for 2nd and goal, so now they're forced to pass. There's an open receiver in the flat, and they'll gain back some yards. Still no Ashton Jeanty in the backfield. 3rd down and 2. It's a handoff. No, what are we doing, Raiders? Oh, I forgot their head coach is Pete Carroll. Of course I'm not going to run the football for the 2-yard line. Nonetheless, they walk out with 3 points, but they really should have walked out with 7. It's 3rd down and 10 for Kyler Murray and the Cardinals, staying still and getting a first down to the 45. 40 seconds to go, staying short to Trey McBride, who's going to be close to a first down. With half a minute remaining, they're going to do another slant pass, which will be just short of the first down, and they have no timeouts. Whatever we do, simulation, do not do something stupid. There's only 8 seconds. Please be out of bounds somewhere, or a wide open receiver, Marvin Harrison. No one was even close to him, and the Cardinals will take the lead with 5 seconds. So much for the long-lived Raiders empire today. They need the same thing, an open receiver downfield. Or whatever the hell that was. And so the Cardinals take down the Raiders 31-27. This now means that everybody's favorite black NFL player, Max Crosby, is going to Arizona. Well, thanks for getting my hopes up, Raiders, but we have a new threat in the West Coast. On to turn number 4, and I can tell you, whoever expands next will be gifted a miracle. Will it be Chicago? They do have a chance at expansion and a power, but it's a very tight fit. I'm gonna pretend like I didn't just say those words, but you know what also is a very tight fit? This expansion to Kentucky, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Brock Bowers is on the board. Colston Loveland doesn't even get a chance to develop for Chicago, as Brock Bowers will take over this position for the Bears. And just like that, we're dismantling the Raiders next. Here is the New Orleans Saints. I'm very excited for them. That was sarcastic if you couldn't understand my tone. And they will be traveling right into Texas to play the Houston Texans. I honestly don't even know who's starting quarterback for them. Spencer Rattler? Yeah, this game's over before it even began. I guess I was being sarcastic twice. I'm obviously meaning that Spencer Rattler is the best quarterback in the nation. Here's the first down for the Texans. They better get on the board here. 2 minutes to go for CJ Stroud, trailing by 4 points. Nearly nearly intercepted. That would have been bad. Let's make it 1st and goal at the 7. Oh my goodness, dude. They've added some crazy animations. They want their players to die. CJ Stroud's going to take it himself now. Good block by the offensive lineman, and he hits the end zone, and the Texans will go up by 3 points after an extra point. Now we get to see starting quarterback Spencer Rattler come on the field. I'm excited for this. It would be funny if this dude absolutely dices up the defense, but he starts with a backwards pass to Alvin Kamara, getting nothing. The objective of this game is to throw the football downfield, not whatever the hell that was. This is what I'm talking about right here. Open receiver. Okay, at the 35 in the Texans territory. All of a sudden, I gotta stop making fun of Spencer Rattler. They could easily put a touchdown on the board. Never mind, it's fumbled and picked up on the Texans defense. Recovered by CJ Gardner-Johnson, the new Texan from Philadelphia. Well, at least Spencer's not the one to blame for this loss. They gave it their all. This will result in the Texans stealing the only player worthwhile from New Orleans, Demario Davis. I mean, that and Alvin Kamara, but that's if you consider him elite. I mean, he's pushing 40. But that will quickly bring us to turn number 5, where we are going to the other Texas team, the Dallas Cowboys. They paid CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott a bajillion dollars this offseason. They better make it worthwhile. Their first move will be going up north and expanding to Oklahoma. Considering Zach Martin retired this offseason, I think it's good to add Tristan Wirfs to the Cowboys. So far, we've had an expansion at least one every single turn. Speaking of expansions, looks like I've talked the expansion merchants himself into place. It's their absolute favorite thing to do here. I would be surprised if they don't get one. It got a little close, but the unwritten rule of imperialism is that the Broncos must expand first. And our first player today to be passed around with a body count of 2 teams is Derek Stingley Jr. The Broncos are no stranger to getting other teams sloppy seconds. Let's go to Kansas City. On the move once again past their expansion. This time they're heading east. Well, we're gonna have to see the upset of a lifetime right here. Maybe Brock Bowers was enough to put him over the Kansas City Chiefs. Why was that even a question? I don't know. Well, Joe Thuney spent one offseason at Chicago and said, "Get me the hell out of here." He's back in Kansas City. This now leaves Brock Bowers eligible to claim. He's another player bound to be passed around a lot today. Turn number 6 will land on the Minnesota Vikings. Anything left will result in an expansion, and that's probably what's going to happen. Minnesota will definitely take the expansion to South Dakota, but they were a few pixels off from Clover in Iowa. 3rd time's the charm for Brock Bowers. He's now wearing purple for the Vikings. We're continuing the expansion per turn pattern, and we'll go to Buffalo. An expansion is not a possibility for the Bills, as they will travel southeast. We're not even 8 turns into this video, and we're about to see another playoff team down. Actually, scratch that. We're about to see a Super Bowl contender down. The Bills will be knocking on the back door of the Philadelphia Eagles. I felt like this was the perfect time to show the brand new heavy snow games. Man, does this look so much better. I think this was a mistake. You cannot see anything in this. I just see the X Factor symbols. Did someone catch that? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, guys, there's Josh Allen. He's right there. He has 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think I learned my lesson here. This will be the first and last time I will show a game in the heavy snow. It's 3rd down and 5 with a 2-minute warning. Josh Allen's going to pass the football, and I think this was caught for a 1st down. Who caught the football? Who the hell knows? This is another catch, and it's going to be a pickup of around 7 yards. They still have to go over 50+ yards, and this is another 1st down. Down to 70 seconds remaining in this game. Josh Allen, how does he even see a receiver that far down the field? Apparently, we're at the 10-yard line. I'm just going to have to trust the game on that one. They're going to hand it off to James Cook, and he picks up nothing. No timeouts called. 40 seconds remaining. Josh Allen is going to run, I believe, and he steps up. Does he have space to find the end zone? He's at the 3-yard line. I have no clue where the end zone starts and begins, so if I see them going forward, I'm going to assume it's a touchdown. A pass to the end zone, and it's in! The Bills will tie the game if they get a 2-point conversion, and holy frame drop. Khalil Shakir with a touchdown. All right, they're lining up for a 2-point try, and it's in. So this is going to be a tie game, 21-21 with Curtis Samuel. My eyes can't take it anymore. We're going to simulate overtime like this. It's a 4th and 33 for the Bills. I better hope they punt. And all the Eagles had to do was score a touchdown to walk this one off, and the Bills knocked out earlier than they expected. Well, as if the Eagles offensive line was not completely broken already, they're going to add Deion Dawkins. Well, it's best I learned my lesson pretty early on. I am not doing that again. I don't usually have any resentment against teams in these episodes because they're just computers playing against each other, but I actually feel a little bad for the Bills today. I think going outside and staring at the sun would have been healthier for my eyes than whatever I just witnessed right there. The Cardinals are back on the attack once again. This could be their 2nd game today. That's exactly what will happen. This will also be the 1st turn today without an expansion, as the Cardinals looking to take down another AFC West opponent in the Denver Broncos. Just an average 11-13 game here in Mile High, but now let's tie it up at 13-13 with Marvin Harrison in the end zone for this 2-point conversion. After letting the Cardinals tie this game up, it only took the Broncos 2 minutes to dog walk them down the field. Bo Nix on a keeper. Bo Nix is in the end zone for a touchdown. Apparently, quarterback RPOs are completely unstoppable in this Madden, so Kyler Murray and the Cardinals will need another touchdown drive as he escapes the pocket. Like I said, quarterback running. Oh my goodness, dude. 2 things are certain in this Madden. Quarterback runs are overpowered, and people get concussions on every single tackle. Actually, make it 3. They got Kyler Murray's toddler-looking run on a point. Here's a pass by Kyler Murray. 1st down to Trey McBride to the 35. 2-minute warning. Kyler Murray zips one down the field for a 1st down. No, it's dropped. Past the 2-minute warning. Here goes Kyler Murray once again. Makes a move. Stiff arms a defender. I didn't know he was that strong. I don't know why Murray is looking like the best quarterback in this game right right now. James Conner with a check down will pick up a few. 80 seconds remaining. James Conner takes a handoff. It's a first down. Only half a minute remaining. It's a handoff, and no, not in the end zone. Broncos have 2 timeouts, yet they don't call it a single one. We're down to only 10 seconds. 3rd and goal. Kyler Murray floats it up for a one-on-one catch, but not going to be there. It's 4th and goal. Absolutely awful time management. This is the final chance. Kyler Murray steps up, and he's tackled half a yard short. Turnover on downs. Will there be a safety? Denver escapes it, and they will win this game 20-13. And for a second team today, probably his least favorite, other than the Kansas City Chiefs, it's the Denver Broncos for Max Crosby. I've been getting a lot of false hope from the West Coast. It's just been a giant food chain. The Raiders, I thought they were good, taken down by the Cardinals. The Cardinals, I thought they were good, taken down by the Broncos. And now we're on to turn number 8. At the conclusion of this turn, we have our first disaster. Let's go to the Colts, who are unfortunately probably one of the worst teams in the league this next season, right next to the Saints. Actually, I forgot to name somebody who might be worse than both of them. The Cleveland Browns are playing the Colts in this upcoming game. Look, I'm excited for the NFL season just like any other man, but there's a lot of things I'd much rather tune into than a Colts versus Browns game. But good for Myles Garrett. He finally escaped the dog pound. Don't let Michael Vick find out. So now the top of Ohio will be under Indianapolis' control. So with 8 teams eliminated, we're down to 24, and we can begin our first disaster, which is Dead Rising. So our first disaster, Dead Rising, will allow 2 randomly selected teams to return to the game, and they'll be placed on 2 randomly selected states. So this is a wheel with the 8 previously eliminated teams. Which 2 will be lucky enough to return to the game, starting with the Buffalo Bills. I'm actually happy for them because I kind of screwed them over in the heavy snow game, so they're back. Now we're going to spin this wheel to see which random state they're going to land on because they can't go back to New York. They're going to Delaware. Now, one final returnee for this video. 7 possibilities. Who will it land on? It's going to be the Chicago Bears. Now, the same goes for them. We'll spin this wheel to see which state the Bears will begin again on, and it's going to be the state of Kansas. Just like that, we're back to 26 remaining teams, and something interesting about both the teams that got brought back. The Bears being brought back in Kansas, once again, they share a border with the team that knocked them out, the Kansas City Chiefs. Sucks for them. But the exact same thing happened to the Buffalo Bills. They also share a border with the team they got knocked out by, the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess they can get their revenge here, hopefully not in heavy snow. So welcome back, Bills and Bears. Best of luck against your revenge games that could happen, and let's move on to turn number 9. I think the Bills will be prepared for a revenge game. The Bears, not so much. But let's go to Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm very interested to see how this old man performs today as he's traveling towards the Eagles probably, and that's not a question. The Eagles will be tested for their second time today. It's time to find out if Unc still got it. It's a low-scoring contest in the Battle of Pennsylvania, but look at all the X factors on the field right now. 2nd and 6 for Jalen Hurts. Once again, the quarterback's showing off today. From the 16-yard line, why not hand off to Saquon Barkley? I mean, I guess why not? It's a 3rd and 2 for the Eagles. They're not going to hand the football off. I mean, once again, we're just going to see a quarterback do another rushing touchdown. It's just so unbeatable. If Aaron Rodgers' old ass is the next quarterback to get a rushing touchdown, I might just end the video here. Rodgers, oh, he's going to run. He's going to run for it. He picks up a first down. What is the quarterback AI in this game? Rodgers would not be running for a first down like that in this day and age. Oh my goodness. This dude's pushing 50 years old and he's still running like that. Here's a handoff for close to a first down. 3 minutes ago, Rodgers is actually passing the football. This time it's another first down for the Steelers. One more play before the 2-minute warning. Here goes Rodgers again. Another first down. Runs for about 20 yards and slides at the 17. I'm starting to get a little scared on how realistic of a possibility a rushing touchdown is for Rodgers. Not unless this happens and it's in the end zone. Touchdown for the Steelers. Freiermuth cashes in for 6 and the Steelers will be up by 3. The Eagles will surely have a response ready. Once again, the quarterbacks just keep on running. Oh my goodness, Jalen Hurts just got destroyed and fumbles the football picked up by the Steelers defense. Jalen Hurts is too sexy of a man to be getting absolutely face-fisted like that. It's picked up by Joey Porter, and the Steelers just need a couple first downs. Rodgers hands the football off. Here's the outside for the running back. It's the first down for the Steelers. Just needing 1 first down. Aaron Rodgers gonna pass to Jalen Warren, who is still going and picks up 9. Rodgers is 1 yard away from knocking off the defending champions. Jalen Warren has the first down. We got an answer to our question. Unc definitely still got it, and the Steelers take down the defending Super Bowl champions 17-14. And probably the best player steal of the day so far. Saquon Barkley is a Pittsburgh Steeler. And I guess the Bills don't have to worry about getting revenge because somebody already did it for them. On to turn number 10, where we're going out west with the Los Angeles Rams. No chance at an expansion. They have to play a game here, and they're traveling north. Matthew Stafford and the Rams will be riding into Broncos country to take down this Orange Empire. If the Broncos Empire wants to keep on thriving, they gotta stop the Rams from finding the end zone. 1st and goal. Kyron Williams with a handoff. Good tackle. tackle. Devontae Adams is lined up to the right of Matthew Stafford. Interesting play right here. Matthew Stafford's going to step up and runs and floats an incompletion for 4th and goal. Great defensive stop for the Denver Broncos, which now means if they put a touchdown on the board, they would be up by 1 point. Rough start for the Broncos at 2nd and 14. Now there's a flag, our first one of the day. They're going to get bailed out by a pass interference call. It's going to move them up a couple yards. They're now at the 36 after that pass interference call, slinging it downfield, incomplete. Will they treat this like 4th down territory? It's currently 3rd down and 8, and another incompletion. Good defense by the Rams. They are treating it as 4th down territory, even having 3 timeouts, so it's 4th down and 8. Bo Nix actually has pretty solid protection this time. He wants way more than 8 yards. He wants 80 up to the end zone. What are we thinking? The Rams just need to find a way to get a couple first downs against this deadly defense, and there you go right there with Puka Nacua. And the Broncos go out earlier than they're used to. They lose to the Rams 17-11, and their player still will be Patrick Surtain, which to my surprise, why is he not a 99 overall in this game? He won Defensive Player of the Year as a cornerback. It's refreshing seeing the Broncos get bounced this early. You can definitely blame it on Bo Nix trying to play hero ball. I can finally stop rage baiting with the Denver Broncos, and let's go to a team I would love to rage bait more, the Dallas Cowboys. I can start by saying the simple year of 1996, but it looks like this arrow spin will give us the Battle of Texas as the Cowboys will travel to Houston. Cowboys currently have a lead on the attack. The Texans trail by 6 points. There's a flag on this play. It's currently a catch to the 42. Does it stand? Apparently not, because there was a legal man downfield. The Cowboys are currently 6 points up on the attack against the Texans. CJ Stroud delivers a bullet for a slant to Tank Dell, who's close to a first down. 3 minutes ago, Joe Mixon takes a handoff, and he runs straight up the middle for a first down to the 32. Just before the 2-minute warning, Micah Parsons is home for a sack, and down goes CJ Stroud. 3rd and 19 for the Texans. A lot of ground to recover here for CJ Stroud, as he's going to stay in the pocket and delivers a short pass, even incomplete, so it's 4th and 19. I guess kicking field goals is an archaic way of thinking now. Nobody does it anymore. CJ Stroud on 4th down and 19. Oh my goodness, it was a catch. What was that? Safe to say that was better than a field goal, but now it's 3rd and 7 from the 8-yard line. Can't take a sack. CJ Stroud, as every quarterback has done so well today, stepping up and running for a touchdown, and the Texans are 1 point away from the lead. Dak Prescott will get 50 seconds and 3 timeouts to respond. They can definitely get in field goal range too. They're going to stay short to George Pickens. That is a very insufficient use of one of their 3 timeouts. This one goes to CeeDee Lamb, reaching for a first down and getting out of bounds. Wise. They only need about 20 more yards. They're going to go for around a 10 of them right here, and now they're past midfield into Texans territory. Only 3 rush, and they have a receiver wide open. How do you allow that to happen? If only the Texans had a star cornerback like, I don't know, Derek Stingley right now. We're finally seeing a team kick a field goal, and it's for all the right reasons. This to win the game for the Cowboys. Very high snap. Slow motion. That's new. Is this going to go through the uprights? Yeah, it's good. Cowboys up by 2. Thanks for the James Bond cinematic game. I really appreciate it, but the Cowboys will win the Battle of Texas. So as a result, the Cowboys will make a huge positional upgrade at running back with Joe Mixon. They will also make a huge territorial change, taking the rest of Texas and Louisiana. We went from seeing an expansion every turn to not seeing any at all. Maybe we'll start seeing some more with the Atlanta Falcons. Surely they're still eyeing down that Bloom power-up in South Carolina. It's going that way. And this was a head-on collision for South Carolina, so not only are they getting the Bloom power-up, they're also getting a player for expanding. And for his 4th team today, everybody, getting passed around like a girl at a frat party, Max Crosby is now in the Atlanta Falcons. And now for the Bloom power-up, where 2 rookies they just drafted in the 2025 class will turn into a 99 overall. We're starting with Jalen Walker on the left outside edge. He's actually be playing right next to Max Crosby. He's about to be 99. So Jalen Walker is our first rookie, boosted up to a true 99 overall for the Falcons. Now, I'm going to make a business decision for the Falcons. I'm going to boost their rookie left tackle Jack Nelson up to that same number as well. I could have done James Pierce Jr., but because they already have Max Crosby, there was no point. So this is a good decision to boost up their offensive line. An absolutely perfect turn for the Falcons. Now, how will they mess it up? Let's move on to the Kansas City Chiefs. This is their 3rd time today getting landed on, and they will travel northwest. Well, it looks like the Chiefs will be landed on a lot more today because they're going up to Iowa, expanding to get the Clover power-up. So the Chiefs will make a huge upgrade at right tackle, the only 99 overall offensive tackle in the game, Lane Johnson. So looking back at the wheel, you can now see there's 3 separate entries for the Kansas City Chiefs. That could be a good thing or a bad thing getting landed on, but we'll see how it works out in their favor. It's worked pretty well so far. Almost getting landed on, but instead it's the Detroit Lions. The Lions are completely surrounded on every angle of the Great Lakes, and because the arrow went southeast, we'll say this is a date against the Indianapolis Colts. At least the Colts did put up a fight, but they got outmatched by the Lions by 37-21. And as a result, the Lions will open up a can of worms. They now share a border with the Bengals, the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Packers. Lucky turn number 13, where we're going to the Carolina Panthers. They're currently getting Eiffel Towered by the Commanders and the Falcons right now. There's no good option out of this, unless Tennessee's an option. Well, that just might be the most convenient arrow of all time, going directly west right into Tennessee to take on the Titans. Somehow, Cam Ward and Bryce Young have given us our most competitive game so far. 3rd down and 18. Yeah, I've seen enough. Give this man Rookie of the Year. This would be a pretty impressive upset in my eyes. I think the Panthers are actually going to be pretty solid this year. The Titans are at the 39. I mean, maybe just one more first down, they'll be close to range. A slant pass to the 34. That should be good enough. Not all hope is lost for Carolina, however. If they can stop them right here, they would get the football back. 3rd down and 3. Why are we playing 10 yards off our receivers? Very much surprised by this outcome. No slow-mo for this kick, but still, it's to the uprights, and the Titans take down the Panthers 25-22. This is a team that I thought could go on a run today. And so, as a result, the Titans will steal 95 overall, Derek Brown. And now it's the Titans who are stuck in between a rock and a hard place. They got all these good teams top and bottom. On to turn number 14, we're going back to Washington. The Commanders are heading towards Delaware. Could this be against the Bills? I don't think it's fair to count that. Yes, it goes through their logo, but it does not touch Delaware. Let's respin. Instead, the Commanders will be going northwest, and that will conveniently give them an expansion to West Virginia. A lot of good players in the free agent pool, but how about A.J. Brown to line up with Terry McLaurin? Next spin will land on one of the 3 possible Kansas City Chiefs. Time to see if this power-up is actually helping them, or will it lead on their downfall? I'm not going to count Cam Ward out, but I'm also not going to count on him to win this game against Kansas City. What the hell is happening? The Titans are up by 10 points. Is this a legacy episode for Cam Ward? I mean, all it really takes for them to pick up 3rd down in inches, which they got it. No, it's fumbled. It gets kicked around, but somehow Cam Ward picks the football up. Oh my goodness. This is going to a booth review, which is going to be absolutely hilarious to witness this once again. I have no clue what happened. Are they rolling it down by contact? No, that's clearly out right there. I think that's kind of shaking a bit. Wow, they overturned it. They said Tony Pollard was down, so the Titans get the first down. That's unbelievable. Now, for real, if the Titans get this first down, the game is over. Tony Pollard takes it, somehow breaks the tackle. First down, Titans. Absolutely unbelievable. The Titans are legit today. Cam Ward going on a legacy run. I think the responsible thing to do is give him Travis Kelce. Some might say he's washed, but he's still a 93 overall X factor, and they need the weapons. Absolutely unbelievable. Now look at all the land the Titans control. I think we got our answer for how the Clover power-up worked for Kansas City. It sucked. So if we're talking about strictly land area, we have 2 dominant empires, the Los Angeles Rams and the Tennessee Titans. I will never understand why the Chiefs have been so depressing in this series. They've just never got anything done. Speaking of depressing, let's go to the New York Giants, who could be on a move for another expansion. I mean, perfect time to get it. The Chiefs just lost. They got an expansion to New Hampshire. Look, we've known how bad the Giants' offensive line has been for years now, so might as well give them 99 overall Lane Johnson. It's really going to come down to how Russell Wilson plays today to see how the Giants perform. Let's go back to Detroit. If I'm the Lions, I would be a little bit scared of the Titans right now. I think it's going that way. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is going to be a competitive game against Cam Ward and the Titans as they defend against the Lions. Sure enough, this game is competitive. 3rd and 10 from the 11-yard line, batted away at the line of scrimmage, and it's 4th and 10. I would kick the field goal if I'm Tennessee here. Responsible decision, they'll be down by a single point. Wow, Dan Campbell not going for it. 4th down and 1 from his own territory. Very unlike him. This means the Titans are going to get the football back. They get in field goal range. This game could be over. What a punt, but it's going to land at the 20. Cam Ward is back on the field. Here's Travis Kelce for his first catch as a Titan. Now here's a run for a first down and some more to the 45. 60 seconds ago, check down play, getting some more yards. We're crossing midfield. The Titans are knocking on another door to eliminate another team. Tony Pollard is in Lions territory. The power of friendship is strong with this team. Travis Kelce has got him close to field goal range. It's about a 45-yard kick from this distance. Can Cam Ward get closer? Yes, they will to Calvin Ridley. Here's the field goal kick, just over a 30-yarder. Are we going to see a dramatic slow-mo again? Yes, we will. And the kick is good. It's the 3rd win of the day for the power friendship Tennessee Titans. They took down the Panthers, the Chiefs, and the Lions. What an impressive resume. And as a result, the newest weapon added to Tennessee will be Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is giving me PTSD to the very first episode of the series where the Carolina Panthers did this exact same thing. They were going on a crazy run, just like the Titans are now. That's 3 straight wins for the Titans in 3 straight turns. Now we've made it to turn 16. At the conclusion of this turn, we get our next disaster, which is acid rain. And let's go to the Los Angeles Rams. They're rebuilding the Louisiana Purchase out west right now, and they're going to go even further west. The pinpoint accuracy on this arrow is pretty insane because it goes right into Southern California to play their in-state or in-city rivals, the Los Angeles Chargers. This is a home game for the Los Angeles Chargers, which I find hard to believe that they even filled the crowd in the first place. They need a touchdown. Justin Herbert gets the first down to the 10-yard line. 90 seconds ago, this is a handoff, which is going to be a touchdown for the Chargers. They'll tie the game at 13. It's the rookie as well, Amarian Hampton. 80 seconds and 2 timeouts to work with for Matthew Stafford Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams, not gonna do much here. Sean McVay's already got his headset off. I guess they just quit. Gonna need much more than just a 5-yard completion 50 seconds ago. At least they pick up a first down. Breaking some tackles is Tutu Atwell. 40 seconds left for the Rams. If they want to keep their empire, they need to get in field goal range, and they'll be close with Tyler Higbee to the 40. No timeouts left, however. They need something smart, something quick, and something out of bounds. That is neither of them, and time is gonna burn down to 0 seconds. They won't get back up to the line. New Madden, same results. I always hate when this happens. Somebody's gonna lose like this every single episode. Unfortunately, it had to be the Rams today, but Patrick Surtain is gonna join Derwin James in a stacked Charger secondary. And we now have a new Los Angeles Empire taking over the West Coast. Well, that brings us to the end of turn 16 with a few dominant empires, the Chargers, the Titans, the Cowboys, and at the end of turn 16, you know what that means. It's time for our second disaster strike, the newest one, Acid Rain. Now, as if there was not enough power-ups on the map already, 3 more are about to be landed on 3 randomly selected states. So we have 3 new power-ups landing on the map today. They're going to 3 random states. They can be claimed or unclaimed. That's what's going to make this different. We have Afterlife. That's going to give a second life. We have Prisoner of War. That's going to allow them to steal players before they play a game. And then we have Gunslinger, which makes their quarterback a 99 overall. So our first one to land will be Gunslinger. Now, whatever state it lands on, that's where this power-up is going. It's going to Indiana. Well, as you can tell, Indiana is already under control of a team. That's the Tennessee Titans, which means Cam Ward is getting boosted up to a 99 overall. As if the Titans were not already dominant enough today, rookie Cam Ward is now a 99 overall quarterback. The only way you can consider that a disaster is to the 17 other remaining teams not named the Tennessee Titans. Our next power-up will be Prisoner of War. This is always a very fun power-up, and it's going to land in the state of Maine. This power-up might have the Giants' name on it. I mean, after all, they've been working their way up this area the whole episode. And finally, that leaves us with a cult classic, the Afterlife power-up. So which state will get the second life power-up? It's going to Maryland. And by doing so, that's under the control of the Washington Commanders, giving them a second life for absolutely free. So Acid Rain has finished. 3 power-ups have landed on the map. Gotta say, this definitely makes up for all the power-ups we had on the West Coast. A lot of things east of the Mississippi now happening. But that being said, we can continue the turn 17 with 18 remaining teams. So onwards to turn 17, we're going back to the Chargers. They have a plethora of options considering how big their landmass is now. Looks like it hits the state of Idaho before it hits Oregon, so they're gonna miss out on the evolved power-up. And a very strong expansion pickup for the Chargers. They're gonna get Chris Jones, the defensive tackle. Next on the attack, we'll go to the Atlanta Falcons. I'm ready for them to finally play a game. Unfortunate for them, their most possible game is against the Tennessee Titans. This could be the Jaguars, though. It's going straight that way, so Travis Hunter and the Jaguars will be on the defense against the Falcons. Jaguars trail by 4 points. Here's Travis Hunter, and his first catch on camera, he fumbles the football. Honestly, how was this even considered a fumble? Did the man even take 2 steps? I want to get this to go to the booth. I mean, so much for this dude being in the thumbnail of this video. Yeah, that's a catch. That's a fumble. I mean, rookie mistake right there. Travis Hunter just gets leveled out and fumbles. Not all hope is lost, though. There's a lot of time left in this game, but John Robinson takes the handoff. They gotta stop the Falcons from hitting the end zone, however, and he has a first down. You know what would be a good way to make up for that fumble? A Travis Hunter interception. They're not gonna go his way, however, as the Falcons pick up another first down with Drake London. Here's the Jaguars' chance to keep this game at 1 score. It's a sack on Michael Penix for 4th and 12. So not all hope is lost. It will stay a 7-point game. Back on the field with 2 minutes remaining. It's already 3rd down and 10. Trevor Lawrence nearly intercepted. Offense stays out on the field. They need 10 yards. Lawrence sips it downfield. Look at this. Strange to the race to the 25. There's life in this offense now. Check down the ETN. He's only going to pick up a couple. That big completion allowed some life for this offense. Travis Hunter with another drop. I'm surprised that one wasn't a fumble too. Guess he never had full control, so it's now 3rd down and 12. Trevor Lawrence will step up into this throw and delivers to Strange once again, who's been clutch in this drive to the 7. 67 seconds remaining. Empty set for Trevor Lawrence, in some trouble, and down he goes. That's a loss of 6 yards and about 25 seconds. Slant to Brian Thomas Jr. Oh my goodness, he gets babied to the ground. They call their final timeout. 10-yard line. Trevor Lawrence has not a single second to react, and down he goes for 4th down and goal with 28 seconds. The Jaguars line back up with 10 seconds. This has to be in the end zone as well, and Brian Thomas couldn't hold on. It's a drop or a turnover on downs. Michael Penix and the Falcons are in victory formation, and the Jaguars will lose their first game today. Maybe y'all think I'm overreacting on this one, but he's actually the same overall as Brian Thomas, and he plays 2 positions, so might as well put him on the Atlanta Falcons. It's obviously Travis Hunter. They also really didn't need Josh Hines Allen because they already have a 99 overall at right edge. It's either going to be Jalen Walker or Max Crosby. The Falcons are struggling from success. It's hard to determine what players they should put on the roster, but them and the Titans honestly might be the strongest teams right now. Here's the Giants once again. They've been expanding all episode. Could they get one more to Maine? Oh, it's gonna be close. How did this perfectly work out in the Giants' favor? It's like they were planning on doing this from the start. They literally expanded 3 states over to Maine, and they get the Prisoner of War power up. To explain it better, before the Giants play any game, they get to spin a wheel with all remaining teams on the map. Whatever team it lands on, they get to take pick a player as the prisoner of war for that game and play against that said team they're playing. This is the third expansion player today for the Giants. I've liked their strategy so far. Just gear up before you play a single game, and this is a good one. They're going to add Jahmyr Gibbs, the replacement for Saquon Barkley. Now, they better have not done all this work to get absolutely destroyed in the worst way possible. That would be very Giants of them. Okay, they get landed on again. This is time for their first game. Yeah, I hate to burst your bubble, New York, but you kind of don't have any expansions left. You used up all 3 of them, so this has to be a matchup, whoever it's closest to, really. There's no more expansions up north. That's Canada, and we're not playing with them today. That's a dead-on collision for the state of Massachusetts with the New England Patriots, so now we get to see the prisoner of war wheel spin in effect. So whatever team this lands on, the Giants are going to borrow a player for this game. They don't get to keep this player. They have to give him right back. They're going to borrow a player from the Chargers. The prisoner of war will be Patrick Surtain. Do the Patriots even stand a chance? Despite the numerous expansion players the Giants have, they're still struggling with the Patriots. I guess some things just never change. The Giants, you can give them all the players in the world, and this is the performance they're gonna put up? I am embarrassed for the New York Giants. They just got shut up by Drake May. How many good players do you guys have now? As a result, the Patriots will add Dexter Lawrence at defensive tackle. And all that work, New York, for what cost? I mean, oh my gosh. As a result, too, the Patriots will take over the newly claimed prisoner of war power-up. And that would be a very anticlimactic way to bring us to the top half of the league. With 16 remaining teams, we continue on to turn number 19. So far, a pretty balanced episode, except the Tennessee Titans, who now have the best quarterback on the map. But let's go to the New England Patriots. They'll be attacking south. Well, it didn't take very long for us to see the New York Jets in action now, and we will spin the prisoner of war wheel for the sake of the New England Patriots as they will take on the Jets. They're going to take a player for the Commanders. So Derrick Henry will be a Patriot for this next game. Mr. President, a second Patriot beatdown has hit the city of New York. Justin Fields and the Jets couldn't even put up a single point, and he couldn't even put up 100 yards himself. And as a result, Sauce Gardner will join New England. All that's left for the state of New York is the Buffalo Bills, and they don't even reside there anymore. They're in Delaware. On to turn number 20, where we'll go to Washington. Now fighting with that extra life in their back pocket, they'll head south. They might need that extra life here too, because they'll run into the backyard of the dominant Tennessee Titans. Now it's time to see 99 overall Cam Ward. Despite being the highest possible overall today, Cam Ward and the Titans are down by a touchdown, but they get a first down to the 40-8. 2 minutes remaining. Amon-Ra St. Brown is open wide up the step, and he's close to the 10-yard line, tackled at the 12. After spinning up a whole minute to draw a play, they've reached a conclusion on a play action, which is going to result in a Cam Ward sack, and they're still not calling one of their 3 timeouts. Now at 3rd down and 17 with 30 seconds remaining, Cam Ward to Travis Kelce's in the end zone for the Titans. That brings us to overtime, all knotted up at 22. Commanders, first possession. Jaden Daniels, 3rd down and 7. Incomplete. Good defense. Would be too long of a field goal, so the Commanders are going to try to pin the Titans in their own territory. And now comes Cam Ward to the 19-yard line to win this game in overtime. Calvin Ridley in motion to hand off to Tony Pollard. He's met instantly in the backfield. Now 2nd down and 13, trying to get some yards back. Amon-Ra St. Brown breaks free for a first down. Gain of 13 yards. Again, Calvin Ridley takes a slant. This is a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 at the 37. Play action. Cam Ward keeps it, throws it down the field. Open receiver, Calvin Ridley into Commanders territory. About 10 more yards will put him in range. Travis Kelce has those 10 yards, and now they're at the 25. Now, after getting iced, it's time to watch the game-winning field goal kick from around 30 yards out in slow motion, like I'm in the Matrix dodging bullets. The kick is good, and the Titans will win yet again. This results in my favorite player steal of the day and homecoming for Derrick Henry back to Tennessee. And as expected with their second life, the afterlife power-up, this will result in no land change, with the Commanders down to 1 life like everybody else. So we stay at 15 teams, now going to turn 21, where we'll go back to the Falcons. We're kind of getting to the point where if any team wants to survive, they have to go through Tennessee. And by going north, there's no other option. It's the Falcons traveling to Tennessee. The Titans looking for their 5th win today. Just for an idea of how good the Titans have gotten this episode, they started in Madden 26 at a 77 overall. They've jumped 6 spots to an 83. 3 X factors for both teams on the field. Derrick Henry gets the handoff, and he's met just at the line of scrimmage. Actually, a loss of a yard for 2nd and goal from the 3. Just like that, they took Derrick Henry out of the game, but Travis Kelce and Amon-Ra St. Brown still in. Cam Ward looks like it was past the line of scrimmage. Why didn't he just run that one in? That was the one time I wouldn't have complained about a quarterback running in for a touchdown today. You can make Cam Ward a 99 overall, but you still can't take the rookie out of him. It's 3rd down and goal from the 3-yard line. Keep in mind, if they get a touchdown, they would go up 4 points over the Falcons. They don't want to kick a field goal. It's a slant to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and there it is. Go ahead to lead for the Titans late in the 4th quarter. David versus Goliath. Michael Penix Jr. needs a touchdown drive for the Atlanta Falcons, and he's going to step up and run for a first down. He doesn't decide to slide, and he picks up an extra 10 yards because of that. Winner's mentality right there. Gotta be careful with the football, however. Michael Penix is going to go to Drake London. They call their 2nd timeout dead at the 40-yard line. Here's close to a first down. Darnell Mooney, but that will bring us under 60 seconds. Michael Penix and has a completion out of bounds. Good. From the 23, 3. Penix is going to throw just down the middle of the field again. I mean, it gets another first down, but we got to get careful with the clock. So because of that, we're down to 22 seconds remaining from the 12-yard line. Penix is going to step up and run. Has an open lane. He's in the end zone for the Falcons, and they're up over the Titans. Is there any chance left for the Titans to get back in field goal range? One pass and fumbled, picked up by the Falcons, and dethroned are the Titans. Down goes the biggest empire today because there's a new one growing. So many good players I can bring over to the Falcons, but the one thing they don't have is an X-Factor receiver. Now they do with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I am not one bit disappointed by this Titans run today. They did everything right. Everything went their way. The one thing that didn't go their way is that they got a little too strong, a little too fast. They became such a big target because of how big their land area was. The Gunslinger power-up, thanks to the acid rain disaster, was the greatest thing that ever happened to them, and probably something I'm going to do again because that was a lot of fun. But now the Falcons are in the same boat as the Titans. They're probably going to get landed on quite a lot now. Now down to 14 teams, just like it was the NFL playoffs, with the Dallas Cowboys up next. They might very well just land on the Atlanta Falcons, who are now a huge target, but instead they're going the opposite direction. So they're going to have to take on the West Coast dominant empire in the LA Chargers. Dallas is just about 90 seconds to put a touchdown on the board. CeeDee Lamb is open to the 40. 54 yards to go in 1 minute. What an accurate pass by Dak Prescott, the George Pickens, to the 32. No timeouts remaining with 55 seconds. CeeDee Lamb gets it again. Can't get out of bounds, however. 30 seconds to go for the Cowboys. Got to be careful who you throw to. A lot of good X factors on the field. Another completion. First and goal to the 4. No timeouts, however. Got to get to the line quick. This could be the final play of the game. 7 seconds remaining. Getting the snap off with 5. First and goal from the 4. Dak Prescott, is he going to run? He throws it out of bounds with 1 second remaining. One final play. This is our first game today to actually come down to the final play. A blitz by the Chargers. Wobbly pass. CeeDee Lamb couldn't get it. The Chargers will hold on defense. Final score 29-24. Well, he's been trying to get himself traded out of Dallas anyways, so welcome to Los Angeles, Micah Parsons. I think it's safe to say the Chargers have the largest land area now, going from California to Louisiana. Turn 23 with 13 remaining teams. The Commanders on the attack once again. Last time they were in this position, it was not so successful. They're going to have to do the same thing again. However, they have to play the team that originally beat them the first time. It's the Falcons versus the Commanders. It's for real, Commanders. If you lose this time, you're out. They only have 1 minute and 20 seconds to go 80 yards with 0 timeouts. They have to be smart. Jaden Daniels incomplete. 3rd down and 10. A.J. Brown in motion. Have to go much farther down the field than A.J. Brown, however, and there's an open receiver to the 40. They got to get up and snap a play. Terry McLaurin made that catch. Now there's 50 seconds remaining. Another catch. This time it's A.J. Brown to the Falcons 40. Under 30 seconds to go. They're going to need a couple more of those plays. Overthrowing a target is Jaden Daniels. At least the clock stops at 24 seconds. This is exactly what we shouldn't be doing, as Brian Robinson does pick up a first down, but probably only one more play left. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Madden 26. They couldn't even get the snap off, and the Falcons will take down the Commanders 13-7. I guess let's just keep on adding X-Factor receivers to the Falcons. They now have Amon-Ra St. Brown, Terry McLaurin, Drake London, and Travis Hunter. And now the Commanders are officially eliminated from the map today. And we've now reached turn number 24. Our final disaster will happen at the end of this turn. I also want to mention the Bills and Bears, who are right back on Dead Rising, have yet to do anything since their return. Hopefully I'm going to speak it into existence soon. Another team yet to do anything is the team we just landed on, the Seattle Seahawks, who do have a power-up south of them, and that's exactly what will happen. So the Seahawks go right into Oregon to claim Evolved, and now their bottom 2 players will turn into the overall of their best player. The first thing that's going to happen, however, is Derrick Henry will be signed to him for the free agent pickup, and because that happened first, Derrick Henry is now the highest overall player on the Seahawks at 98, which now means if we swap the overalls to sort them on the bottom first, we have our 2 worst players in the Seahawks, Patrick O'Connell and Josh Ross, both Mike linebackers, will become a 98 overall just like Derrick Henry. So now looking back at the Seattle Seahawks roster, we have 3 98 players now, both the Mike linebackers we just upgraded, and Derrick Henry. Maybe that will give Seattle a chance today, considering they've been sitting around doing nothing. The Steelers are back in the attack. It's been a minute since we've last seen them. And at this moment, the East Coast continues to get obliterated. This large piece of land keeps on changing territories, and the Falcons under attack by the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers. Could we see one final large territorial change before our final disaster? Michael Penix and the Falcons down by a field goal right now, but John Robinson's open on a slipstream, and he's all the way up to the 10. More like a wheel route, but we have 2 minutes remaining in this game, and this time John Robinson's not so successful. Now it's 3rd down and 8 from the 9-yard line. Michael Penix just barely gets it off, but not close to the first down markers. It's tackled for 4th and 6 at the 6-yard line. The Falcons will settle with a tie at 17. Rodgers gets 51 seconds. Can he work his old ways? Rodgers to pass from his own 20-yard line. He wants to go deep here. He's been holding the ball for quite some time, and double coverage, triple coverage incomplete. incomplete. 30 seconds to go from his 36. Rodgers will get a first down to DK Metcalf, and he reaches out of bounds. Saquon Barkley will get a handoff pretty late in the game, but he spin moves to around the 45. They call their second timeout. That brings them to the 46-yard line. They only need about 10 more yards, and they're going to get some right here. They're strangely going to take the kick here. I'm not doubting Chris Boswell's ability, but this is well over a 55-yard kick, and we have to watch it as it slowly makes its way to the uprights. And it's good. Okay. What a kick for Boswell. Do the Falcons have a chance to get in range for maybe like a 55-yard kick as well? Not if we do that. With 7 seconds remaining, Michael Penix is going to have to throw this football like the people throwing dildos on the courts at WNBA games. 5 seconds ago, why are we not going downfield? I mean, we're at the 50 now. At least it's a reasonable Hail Mary distance. It's going to be a 50-yard passing touchdown if they can find their way to a Falcons receiver. It's incomplete, and the Steelers won't knock down the Falcons empire. And this will give Rodgers an X-Factor receiver to throw the football to, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, the same story goes for the Falcons as it was for the Titans. It's just hard to maintain this much land before we make it to the late game. And that brings us to the end of turn number 24. Time for our final disaster, the tornado. And our map is going to look completely different. Now, the tornado disaster is going to displace half of the remaining teams, and they're going to be swapping land areas with each other. Okay, so here's the tornado swap. Once I click this button, it's going to generate 2 teams left on the map, and we're going to swap their locations on the map. I actually did it a little wrong this episode, but it's not a big deal. We're going to do this a total of 3 times for a total of 6 teams remaining. So our first swap is going to be Bengals and Seahawks swapping land areas. So our first of 3 swaps are complete. The Seahawks are now completely encapsulated by the Steelers, and the Bengals move over to the West Coast to share a border with the Chargers and 49ers. All right, time for our second of 3 swaps. The Bills and Chargers are swapping land areas. I stand corrected. The Bengals do not share a border with the Chargers anymore, as the Bills will take it over, and the Chargers have been booted out to the small state of Delaware to share a border with the Steelers. And our final swap, these 2 teams are swapping locations, the Bears and the Packers. And this is cursed, as the Bears will now take control of Wisconsin, but the Packers will take control of the state of Kansas. And all 3 disasters have struck. We're left with 11 remaining teams as we approach turn 25. 10 turns remaining, and we are going to the Bills in the West Coast. They have a lot more options now compared to when they were in Delaware. And that includes expanding to the state of Wyoming to claim the Double Trouble power-up, which will allow them to steal 2 players for every successful conquest. Here's also the dilemma with the DNA power-up in Montana. If they also get that power-up, it means they create a second copy of Double Trouble, which stacks, which means they'll get 4 players for every win. I'm honestly hoping that does not happen. Yeah, I've lost track of how many bodies this dude has this episode. Next up will be the Seahawks, who are now in the small part of Ohio that remains. Matter of fact, they're actually being held hostage by the Steelers right now. They have no other choice. They have to go on the road to Pittsburgh. Looks like Seattle could not capitalize in overtime, which gives the ball back to Aaron Rodgers for a chance to win the game. Any points will do. Rodgers is going to throw it out deep for double coverage, and DK Metcalf comes down with it at the 31. Saquon Barkley looking to ice this game. He hits the outside and picks up a first down. They're well in range now. And so Boswell going for a second slow motion game winner today to beat the Seahawks in overtime 17-14. The Steelers will take Patrick O'Connell, the linebacker who was boosted up to the evolved 98 overall. And they're finally going to take down the slither of Ohio, which they've been holding hostage for quite some time. This brings us to the top 10 teams. The Bengals, Niners, Bills, Packers, Vikings, Bears, Steelers, Dolphins, Chargers, and Patriots. A shout out to my Green Bay Packers, who have done absolutely nothing this video but are still alive. It's like America in World War II. They're just waiting for their Pearl Harbor to happen. Maybe it's going to happen soon, but here's the Bengals, who are now in Seattle. They have 2 options. This arrow just depends what it's closest to. I believe it's the Bills or Niners. I think that's going right down to the 49ers. Sure enough, so San Francisco is getting involved in their first game. This is their Pearl Harbor. I don't know why I'm using that example at all, but 49ers on the defense. Matter of fact, neither of these teams have played a single game today, and it's in overtime where the Niners need to respond with a touchdown. It's 3rd down and 10 for Brock Purdy, and he's going to stay in the flat. Interesting decision. The CMC only gains 4 yards, and they're at a 4th down and 6. The San Francisco run will be quickly over today if they cannot pick up this first down. Empty set for Brock Purdy. 4th down and 6. Here comes some pressure, and down goes Brock Purdy. Couldn't get an accurate pass, and they turn it over on downs, and it's game over. I can't believe the Bengals defense is the reason they won this game, but that's how it's done. 31-24 for Cincinnati. So many possible X factors to pick up, but I gotta give them Christian McCaffrey in the backfield. It's always unfortunate to see a team just stick around the entire episode without anything happening to them, and then they just lose like that. It happens every episode, to be fair. And quickly on to turn number 27, where we're finally getting the Green Bay Packers. And so that now means that every team has been involved in one way or another, and the Packers will be traveling towards the west. That goes right into the Bills Empire, so the Packers have a very tough game for their first one on the turf. How about a light snow game this time? Both these teams can handle these conditions. I guess the snow is more of an impact in this game compared to the last snow game because it's a lot more low scoring. It's 7-10 and Tucker Kraft has a first down into Bills territory. Brings him to the 47. Josh Jacobs met instantly for a loss of 5 yards. That was by today's journeyman Max Crosby, who now has his X Factor ignited. Here's almost an interception. Would have been our first today. I can't believe we still haven't seen one. It's a long 3rd down and 15 for the Packers, and Josh Jacobs will gain some of it back, but it's still a 4th down. Not really a fan of this call whatsoever. I would at least go for it or attempt a 50-yard kick with Brandon McManus. Packers are going to try to get this football back. Josh Allen is going to pass the football, and once again, why? Interceptions are just so hard to come across today. I can't really blame him for dropping that, however. I mean, that ball is probably frozen like a brick, and Josh Allen is throwing it as well. It's 3rd down and 7. Allen's going to step up. Can he pick up a first down? Yes, he will. That moves the markers. One more first down. This game is over. James Cook will pick up around 7. 2nd down and 3. James Cook has it again. First down. The Bills will win this game. And both the Packers and Niners were victims of the team sitting around doing nothing all video, and it ends up hurting them in the long run. And so, of course, the Bills have the double trouble route, which means they get to steal 2 players from the Packers, first being Xavier McKinney, and then I decided to do Elton Jenkins over Josh Jacobs because this is a much better positional upgrade. The Packers have not learned one thing from world history. You do not want to attack a large empire in the freezing snow. 8 teams remain, and let's go to Miami. Well, you can kind of guess what's going to happen to them. They've been stuck down in South Florida this entire episode, and they have to take on the Steel Curtain. Well, we had a Pittsburgh massacre, an absolutely unfortunate way to go down for the Miami Dolphins. They had to take on an empire, losing 42-3. I feel like there's nothing worse than being a fan of a team in Florida and also liking the Imperialism series because you have to deal with this BS every single episode. Sorry guys, I don't make the rules. Oh wait, I do. Next up, we will have the Cincinnati Bengals. Just like the Dolphins, the Bengals don't have any other choice. They have to take on the Buffalo Bills. A 1-point deficit here in Buffalo. The Bills are about to strike the end zone. 2nd and goal from the 6. James Cook takes the handoff, but it's 3rd and goal from the 5. A field goal would still give them the lead, but they definitely want to get in the end zone. It's a slant. It's tackled at the 1-yard line. What did they decide to do? I think this is playing it a little too safe. I don't think they would have kicked this in real life, but they'll take the lead 17-15. Seems as the Bengals are getting ready to strike back. 3rd and 9 from the 37. It's a first down. That will keep on burning off the clock. Christian McCaffrey only picks up 2. I think the Bengals are very content with the amount of time they're wasting right now, but Christian McCaffrey can't pick up anything. It's 3rd and 9. The Bills kind of have to get a stop here because then the Bengals can drain out the clock and win it with a field goal. 3rd down and 9, and it's going to be 4th down. Apparently, there was no 2-minute warning. Might be a bug in the new Madden, but the Bengals are going to kick a field goal to go up by 1 point, and Josh Allen will get it back down by 1 with a minute and 20. From the 24, we're starting with a good first down to the 35. Minute and 5 seconds remaining. A good completion into Bengals territory. No! It's fumbled by the Bills. Oh, no. Khalil Shakir just ends the Bills run right there, and the Bengals storm on top of it. Oh, man. What a depressing way to go down. The Bengals always find ways to win in Imperialism. They're definitely the most dominant team ever. I don't even want to say this dude's name anymore, but you guessed it. He is going to Cincinnati. It seems as the tornado disaster completely woke up the Bengals. The best thing to ever happen to them as they now take over majority of the West Coast, and they also claim the double trouble power-up. This is kind of scary. The Bengals have already won 2 episodes in the past. I really don't want them to win a 3rd. Well, let's talk about the Chargers, who are in puny little Delaware right now. Chances are this lands on the Steelers. Other than New Jersey, there was really nowhere else they could have gone, so another team is trying to take down the Steelers' empire. Has the Steel Curtain hit a roadblock? They're down by 6 points. Rodgers needs a touchdown drive. Jalen Warren takes the handoff, hits the outside, gains 5. 2-minute warning from the 48-yard line. Rodgers delivers a pass completion. Okay, somehow fits it into the 39. That moves the chains into Chargers territory. Rodgers looking to dice them up again. This is another catch for 9 yards. Brings him to 31. Jalen Warren, easy first down into the 20, into the red zone. 60 seconds to go. 3 rush the Chargers, so Rodgers is going to step up and run. Look at this play. Rodgers dives in the end zone for a rushing touchdown. It happened. Okay, the video can end here. Extra point by Boswell to put him up by 1. 25-24. Herbert gets the football with 1 minute. Steelers got to make a couple stops right there. The first interception of the day finally happens, and it's going to be a pick 6 for Pittsburgh. We've seen everything except a Hail Mary. Justin Herbert looking to tie this game up. Never mind. Well, unless we see a 67-yard touchdown pass and this game is over. Not even close. The Steelers move into the top 5. Their player steal will be Patrick Surtain, giving him the best secondary unit in the nation. Him, Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr., and Darius Slay. Insane. But now let's watch the biggest territorial change in this video. Goodbye, Delaware. So a full map overview with our final 5 teams, the Bengals, Vikings, Bears, Steelers, and Patriots. Turn number 31, let's go to the Minnesota Vikings, who are the only team remaining yet to play a single game. All they've done today was expand to South Dakota. I think this is their first game right here. They're traveling right into the top of Wisconsin, not owned by the Packers. It's actually owned by the Chicago Bears, up for their second game today. I'm not necessarily surprised at the score whatsoever. After all, it is a divisional matchup. What a play right there by JJ McCarthy, but a good defensive play as well. I almost forgot this team has Brock Bowers, but JJ McCarthy doesn't have a single second to throw the football, and it's 4th and 13. At the very least, the Vikings should take a lead here over the Bears, but Caleb Williams will get the football back. We live in a world where the Bears can join the top 4 in today's video. Caleb Williams on the run, beautiful play, close to midfield. Keep in mind, all they need is a field goal with 90 seconds, but you can't take a sack. A loss to 3rd down and 13. That will push them back into their own territory, needing 13 yards from the 47. Caleb Williams stays short, incomplete. Offense stays out. They need to make it to the 39-yard line, throwing it up down the sideline. It's a catch. Timeout, Bears at the 19-yard line. Can the Bears get one more first down to drain out the entire clock or go for the end zone? Incomplete. That's going to leave some time on the clock for the Vikings. So Cairo Santos on the field to make this a 17-16 game. Vikings get it back. 38 seconds in, 2 timeouts, wide open off a slant. Good start to the 40. Very quick play too, only uses up 3 seconds. This is what we should not be doing, however. A 2-yard gain for the cost of 25 seconds off the clock. We are in single digits now, so they have to get close to field goal range with this. They call a timeout with 6 seconds. The Bears are in prevent mode. It has to be a Hail Mary. Brock Bowers and Justin Jefferson, 2 of them have to get open here. Not even going to be an end zone shot. What are we doing, Minnesota? Why did you even make it to the top 5 in the first place? The Chicago Bears, since getting eliminated very early on and getting brought back to life, have a win to make it to the top 4. I wouldn't be too disappointed if I'm Justin Jefferson. I do think Caleb Williams is probably an upgrade over JJ McCarthy. Somehow, the Vikings are one and done today, even making it this far. This is a very interesting Final 4 teams. All 4 of these teams are like borderline 9-8 teams in real life, except the Steelers. Well, actually a lot. They always go 9-8 anyways. Let's go to the Steelers. This is their first time on the attack in quite some time as they travel up the East Coast. Well, that conveniently just so happens to go right into New England's territory for a road game for the Steelers. I don't know if that's happened once today. And remember, the Patriots get to spin the prisoner of war wheel. Only 3 possible teams to claim a prisoner from. It could definitely be the Steelers. That would suck for them. Well, they're going to take a player from the Bears. So Justin Jefferson will be a Patriot for this next game only. Now the Steelers are struggling. All of a sudden, they're on the road, so it's a different story. They gain 8 here. 3rd down and 2 with 1 minute and 20 seconds. At least they'll get the first down. But we're now under a minute. Rodgers keeps throwing these short crossing routes, but this is a first down past the 50. Timeout. 50 yards to go with about 55 seconds. Rodgers gets good protection this time. Delivers a bullet close to the sideline, but can't get out of bounds as Pat Freiermuth. Therefore, they call their final timeout from the 31-yard line, staying in the flat to Freiermuth, and he can't get out of bounds again. Back to the line of scrimmage with 25 seconds from the 19-yard line inside the red zone. A slant. Oh no, from the 9-yard line. They got to get up and get another playoff. Rodgers has 3 seconds. Got to hurry up and snap the football. 1 second. They get a playoff. That was definitely a false start, but they're not going to count it. In the end zone, it's a touchdown to walk it off for the Steelers. The most blatantly obvious false start ever on that left guard doesn't get called, but Tyreek Hill has the walk-off winner for Pittsburgh. Final score 19-17. So Dexter Lawrence will join this stacked Pittsburgh defense, and the Steelers will have sole possession of the East Coast. They will also now take over the prisoner of war power-up in the top 3 with the Bengals, Bears, and the Steelers. It's turn number 33, time for our runner-up game. Who will it land on? It's gonna be the Cincinnati Bengals. Now there still is a bunch of expansion possibilities. They could be getting one here. Yes, they will, as this goes right into Nebraska, and they're gonna take Micah Parsons, who's gonna line up next to Trey Hendrickson and Max Crosby. So instead, we spin again, where we get the Bengals back-to-back times. They still can expand, but it's not as likely as it was before. It goes right into South Dakota under the control of the Chicago Bears, giving us our runner-up game set. The Bengals and the Bears, meaning the Steelers have clinched their way to the championship game. Typical Bengals fashion to be in a high-scoring game, 35-28. Can their defense actually make a stop here against Caleb Williams? The Bears versus Bengals. It's a 3rd down and 7 for Caleb Williams, looking to tie this game at 35. Going deep, double coverage, incomplete for 4th and 7. Do they decide to go for this? Yes, they will. There's no other choice. They need at least 7 yards here, but Caleb Williams to go deep again? No, he makes a smart decision and finds a first down to Justin Jefferson. 80 seconds remaining for the Bears to find a touchdown as they gain 7. Under 60 seconds to find the equalizer. Tight window, but caught for a first down. 30 seconds to go from the 25. They still have 1 timeout. They might have to use it here. No, they're still not using it. I swear these teams do anything possible to give me a heart attack. We are under 10 seconds. Caleb Williams has a completion inside the 5. Call a timeout, please. What are we doing? Timeout! Timeout! You had one! You had a timeout, and y'all didn't call it. The Bears, oh my god. Welcome to Madden 26, everyone. We were one miscue away from seeing the Bears in the final game, but the Bengals will get 2 players thanks to double trouble. First, Jalen Johnson, and then only fitting Justin Jefferson teams up with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow for the final game today. The Bengals represent the West, the Steelers represent the East. Turn 34, the final turn today. It comes down to an AFC North matchup. Whoever it lands on is going to be the attacking team more than likely. The Bengals will be on the attack. Let's just make sure they don't end up expanding here. That arrow goes to the top of Iowa for our final game today. The Bengals versus Steelers. And of course, a prisoner of war spin for the Steelers. They get to take a player from the Bengals. Well, sorry to get your hopes up, but Justin Jefferson's actually going to be on the Steelers for this final game. The Steelers have made it the first and goal from the 4. Saquon Barkley takes the handoff, and he goes backwards for a loss of 3. It's now second and goal from the 7. Barkley gets the football again, hits the outside, but backwards again. Loss of a yard. Third and goal from the 8. Might actually need to pass the football this time, needing 8 yards. Third and goal. Rodgers floats it up in the end zone, one-on-one to Justin Jefferson. Incomplete. 4th and goal. They're forced to send Boswell on the field to tie this game. Almost blocked. Hold up, there's a flag. Roughing the kicker, would that make it a first down? What an absolute sell. 1st and goal for the Steelers. They get to do that all over again. Leave it up to the Bengals defense to mess up that bad. But what are the Steelers doing on offense? They're still just getting absolutely destroyed at the line of scrimmage. We're playing a game of cat and mouse right now. Max Crosby with his 100th team today comes out with a tackle. Incomplete. 3rd and goal from the 8 again. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have Tyreek Hill. You have Justin Jefferson. Yet not a single one of them have touched the football so far. Until now, it's a touchdown for the Steelers, and it goes to Tyreek Hill. Joe Burrow could be in some trouble. 3rd down and 16. I would not want to give the football back to Pittsburgh. And he's sacked. Only 3 rush for the Steelers, and he goes down. 4th down and 22. You have no other option. It's up to Aaron Rodgers to ice this game away. Not looking to go for the Bengals. Rodgers might put points on the board as well. He runs for a first down, and he dives headfirst for a Bengals timeout at the 14. Cincinnati needs a stop here. 3rd and 6 for the Steelers. Rodgers floats it up to the end zone. No, incomplete. DK Metcalf couldn't hold on. So out comes Boswell again, who's been a huge factor for why the Steelers have been winning games today, to kick a field goal up 20-13. Out comes Joe Burrow with no timeouts. My expectations are low because we know how bad time management has already been in this Madden. But Caney goes 70 yards in 2 minutes. There's a good 15 of them right there. 55 more yards in 80 seconds. Burrow down the middle. Another completion to Mike Gesicki at the 30. 60 seconds remaining. 30 yards to go. Joe Burrow, 3 straight completions. This one's probably the worst to Mike Gesicki again. Only gains 5. They're now down to 35 seconds. Joe Burrow, first down to Mike Gesicki. Does he not realize he has other receivers? At least he got out of bounds this time. That puts him inside the red zone. Empty set. T. Higgins is tackled in bounds at the 11. Under 10 seconds ago. Come on, Bengals. Do not let me have another game end like this. 5 seconds. This is probably the final play. This has to be in the end zone. Oh my goodness. They're just 2 yards short with Jamar Chase. The Bengals cannot find the end zone. And the Steelers will win Madden 26 Imperialism. And now we can watch as the Steelers will take control of the entirety of the United States of America. An unbelievable run by the Pittsburgh Steelers and Aaron Rodgers, who had so many clutch plays today. He looked like prime himself, like 2014, 2011 Aaron Rodgers is what I saw out of him. That will definitely not happen in real life, but a man can dream. So thank you for watching Madden 26 Imperialism. However, we're not done yet, because if you're interested in the series and want to see the entire stats and standings in the previous 14 episodes before this one, that's going to happen right now. So you might remember this graphic from the very beginning of this video, talking about the Imperialism leaderboards and how they work. If you don't know already, essentially, I keep track of stats throughout this entire series with these 5 categories: turns lasted, wins, losses, expansions, and an episode victory. Imperialism points is the metric I use to calculate all of this, and the example of how it would look like is Green Bay right here. You don't have to do any of the math. I've done it all, and I've double-checked all of it, so whoever has the most Imperialism points is how they are listed on this stats and standings. That being said, here are 32-25. If you notice why I was bummed out that the Buccaneers were the very first team to lose, that's because they just constantly get screwed over in this series. They are not this bad. They don't deserve to be 32nd. They just, nothing goes their way at all being in South Florida. There's a huge difference between them and the Cleveland Browns, who are 31. I mean, at least the Browns are just not good. And the Bears at 30, even having a solid episode doing nothing the entire time, they're still at 30. A lot of these teams stay the same. You can see teams are trending down. The Saints going down 2, the Jaguars trending down 2, the Colts trending down 1, Rams stayed the same as well. Probably should have said spoiler warning, but you probably already knew that anyways, because now it's time to reveal some past winners in this series. At 24 is the Giants going down 2, The Falcons did the same. The Seattle Seahawks at 22, who are 6-14-8 in the series, have won an episode before. They're 22nd. A lot of teams are trending down this episode. The Commanders, the Texans, the Lions, and then even the Raiders going down 4 spots, and then the Titans had a pretty solid episode, only going up 3-17. But now we're getting to the 300 plus Imperialism points club. We have the Raiders and Lions as well, who are championship winners in the past. Let's move up to the top half of the league, starting with 16. This is where today's winners are sitting. They're moving up 12 spots. The Steelers at 16. They were 28 before this episode, and they're now 16-14-6. They went 7-0 today. They added 7 wins. So that means before this episode, they were 9-14. The Patriots are going up 2. The Panthers go down 2. The Eagles stay the same at 13. The Chiefs actually go up 3 spots, which is surprising. And the Packers and Cardinals will swap places. But just on the outside is the Vikings, Packers, and Cardinals, who all have a championship in this series. They're sitting at 9, 10, and 11. And we go to the top graphic, the top 8 teams in this series. Not much has changed. Only one thing has changed, is that's the Ravens and Chargers have swapped places. But still, the Bills are the best team in this series without a championship win. I thought they were going to get it today, but Khalil Shakir had something to say about it with that fumble. We have 3 teams in the 500 plus points club. The Broncos are actually getting close to 600, and this is why I make fun of them so much. If you guys did not already know, look at their expansions. They have 29 of them. The next second place team is the Patriots with 17. I think it's reasonable to say that I can make fun of the Broncos here. I mean, look at the Cowboys compared to them. Look at the Bengals especially with 26 wins and 2 Imperialism victories. I mean, are the Broncos really the best team in the series, or do they just like expanding a lot? So that concludes NFL Imperialism in Madden 26, and there'll be a whole lot more of these as we continue during the football season, and a lot more content on my channel. So if you like it, make sure to leave some support. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later.